So we're going to show you how to fish some flats with the Atomic Semi-Hard Soft Pop. These are available in two sizes, the 50 and 75, and they're pretty easy to fish. So what I typically do, leave a little bit out, cast out as far as you can. One of the secrets of flats fishing is get the lure as far as you can away from you. It gives you more chance for the fish to come up, and they're not as spooky when you're walking around or in a boat drifting over flats. So we'll get that out as far as we can. They're quite heavy, these lures, so they're excellent for the castability. Once it's out there, there's two different techniques. I'll go through the walk the dog, which is basically just giving it a lift, and see I'm just jigging the rod. Really doesn't matter how you do it as long as that rod tip's going up and down and moving. And what you're doing is retrieving at the same speed. So you're keeping that lure moving forward, not stopping, bringing that rod up and down, trying to attract those fish from afar. And generally you can see some bow waves and stuff like that come over, and when that happens, if they're brimp, typically they like a bit of a pause. Whiting like you to keep winding. So you can give it a bit of a pause, let it, see what happens. Oh, there's something on it there, a little bit of bait on the flats here. Keep winding again, and you just keep doing that all the way in. So pauses sometimes can get those brim. Keep winding, just give them that little soft rod wobble. You're not going too crazy like that because it brings it out and jumps the lure. You just want nice soft wobbles and bringing that in. Okay, the other way I like to retrieve these lures, especially around snags and structures, so somewhere where you know there's something underneath the water that fish hang around, you're not trying to walk that lure really quick and catch those fish over that. You want it to stay there against rock edges, walls, everything, structure basically. So what you want to do is you want to pop it like a traditional popper. So we got out there, all you do is wind up the slack, give it a rod tip, wind up the slack, give it a pull of the rod tip. So all you're doing is winding up that amount of line you've pulled from that pop, and you're just going to bring that in. You can make it a bit quicker if you want to get pops, pop, pop, like whiting like, pop, pop, and you see you get more of a splash out of the lure, and you don't get as much of the walking action. It's just a guide with a splash out the front of it. And that is really good for around structure, rock walls, somewhere where you're not covering a large area like flats. One of the beautiful things about these Atomic Semi-Hard Soft Pops is because of that soft nature, you can actually fill them up full of water, like a frog and that sort of stuff. The beauty about that is you get a bigger casting distance. So you just put it on the water, squeeze it, and it sucks in. So I'll do the reverse here, and the same happens. So sometimes when you cast in, water can get around the soft, which isn't a problem. Every 3, 4, 5 casts, you just get it, squeeze it out, get rid of that water, see, a couple of squeezes, gone, and it's back to a surface lure. But as I said, if you want that to sink or get a bit more castability out of it, you push it under the water, fill it up, get a bit more weight to it, and that way now we'll be able to cast a lot further. And yes, the lure will sink. So if you stop there, the lure will sink down. That's actually a benefit. Some fish can get real timid on the surface in a certain time of day. So you can wind it fast, come straight back up to the surface, walk in like a normal walk the dog or a popper. But if you stop, it'll just glide slowly under, and sometimes that's the difference in catching those big fish.